Well, here we are, day 2 in this Kalispell trip, and Mabel's all ready for her close-up. She's front and center today. We just stopped at the coffee shop here, Sable, and grabbed some coffee and some croissants for breakfast, and we're gonna work our way over to the vet where we're hopefully gonna get this whole cancer thing tackled. So off we go. All right, well, Mabel's been dropped off in the vet's office, and she is such a nut bar. She's happy one moment, then she's growling at the vet like she's going to eat him, then she's sitting in my lap, and then she's like, okay, and he just took her away, and she was happy to go.
Yeah, she's a little goofball, but we love her.
So we'll see what happens in a few hours. All right, we're getting ready to head inside and check out the Northwestern Montana Museum housed in this 1894 schoolhouse. And it's quite a big schoolhouse, as you can tell. I am such a sucker for thermometers used as advertising. Love all that stuff. And of course, railroad stuff as well is always a favorite, as are old calendars. And I mean, this place has got everything. We got the old firefighter helmet there, and I spin around, and an old fire alarm pull station. And this model of the Kalispell train station is built in a 1/7 scale. And I'm going to assume that's probably the original sign off the old station hanging above it. This projector is such a behemoth. There's a lot more to running a theater then than pushing the button and doing the digital routine like we do today. It's a great artifact. Shoe display, complete with Brannock devices. And just to prove I'm not making that up, you can actually see the name right on there. Brannock device, the genuine. And the bell from City Hall and the fire department from 1904 into the 70s. According to the little plaque there on the right, or the copy of the newspaper article, it weighs 2,200 pounds. Volunteer firefighter's hat. First summoned to fires by revolver shots. I take it this classroom was the wood shop. Not really, but you know. Do not mess with those teeth. Or those claws.
We took this road here, just along the bottom of the
Yeah, and then
park.
Came back up north and through the pass.
Valley.
So a quick history of the bar that I'm about to show you. It was built in the 1880s, was in Demersville or Demersville, which is a ghost town south of Kalispell. Apparently the only thing left there is the cemetery. Was moved in here, and in 1998 was moved through a window onto the second floor of the museum here. Beautiful piece of woodwork, complete with the stereotypical brass rail in the front. And to borrow a phrase from Charles Phoenix, how much do we love vintage postcards? I know. This display about steamships. The Klondike, SS Klondike, arriving in Polson in 1918, but check out the 2 grain elevators in the background. The Old Steel Bridge from 1894. Gotta love old bridges. Sadly long gone now, but a piece of it still remains here under the photo exhibit. Interesting bit of history here about the Kiyomi. 8 years as a steamship, got converted to diesel in 1936, caught fire and burned. The crew, logbook, clock and barometer were saved. The rest was undisturbed for 80 years till it was discovered in 2016. And today the anchor's here in the museum. And of course, right up our alley, old telephones, radio, switchboard, and the Marion Post Office, established October 18th, 1892. Beautiful, beautiful artifact. We'll take the northern staircase down. This was the boys, I read. So we learned a little bit more about the building itself while we were inside. And what we're looking at here was actually the main entrance. And this was only the entrance for teachers and administrators. The school kids would filter in through their own doors on the north and south ends of the building. So over to, I guess that would be the east side. That's where the old livery stable used to be, where the kids would come in on their horses and whatnot to attend school. And this here is the north side of the school, and this was the boys' entrance. They had, of course, as you did in those days, separate entrances for the boys and the girls. So, a little bit of background on the school itself. Apparently, this was the first public building built in Kalispell. And even at the time of its construction in 1894, I think it opened for classes in 1895. It had indoor plumbing and all of those good things that most people didn't even have in their homes. So, great building. We were in there probably a good couple hours. So, definitely worth checking out when you're in Kalispell. All right, so fresh off our museum tour and fresh off of lunch, we're back at the Vet Clinic, and look who's here. There she is. The marvelous Miss Mabel is back, adjusting to life with a collar. Uh-huh. It's going to take you a little while to figure this out. Can you jump?
All right.
There we go. Oh. It's okay, you don't look as funny as you think you do. Well, you do, but I'm not going to tell you that. All right. So having picked up Mabel, we can't really do too much more. We got to keep a close eye on her. Plus, we can't leave her in the car because it actually got really warm out here today. So we're just kind of driving around and looking at things. And we're at basically an unmarked gravel pull-off here on Highway 2 in Montana. And there's a geocache here, of course. But it says that there are some ancient Native American, they call them hieroglyphics, but I believe the correct term would be petroglyphs. I was wrong. On a rock wall here, so we're going to go take a look at those. So no sign here indicating anything about this site, but there is a gravel walkway here, and there is a chain link fence designed to keep you away from interfering with the petroglyphs. And they're actually quite prominent. I'm sure you can kind of see them through the fence there. Looking up from here, we're right at the base of a cliff. And I have to wonder, maybe this was a buffalo jump at one point? Seems like it'd be a good spot for it. Because as Emily was just pointing out, it almost looks like they were counting things. So I'm wondering if maybe they were counting their kills at this spot, or... Yeah, or it could be a man.
Buffalo there.
I thought it might be a bunny rabbit, but you know, same. It could be. It's hard to tell. There we go. Buffalo or bunny, you decide. They extend quite a ways along the fence here. Again, shooting through the chain link. Kind of looks like a man there. And some more symbols.
Hard to say.
Yeah, not sure what they are. But very cool site. And completely unmarked on the highway. If you didn't know it was here, you would just drive right by and have no idea. Now the cache is over this way a little bit, I think. We'll see. This looks like an interesting trail that goes up here and up to the left and into that gap in the rocks. Probably a good way to access the top of the cliff, but I don't have proper footwear, so I'm not going up there today. I know, who would have ever expected it? Every once in a while, I apply common sense. Anyway, cache is about 11 meters east and south of here, so that's going to put us a little bit closer to the highway. One last look at the petroglyphs. If you're in the Calgary area, I actually have a geocache hidden in a canyon called Zephyr Creek. It involves fording the Highwood River, but it takes you up a canyon south of Calgary and actually takes you to a spot that also has petroglyphs on the rocks from the Native Americans. All right, let's go see if we can find the cache over here. Cache owner did say that it was hidden a fair distance from the petroglyphs to reduce unnecessary foot traffic at the historical site. And while that cliff face over there is causing some significant signal bounce, I think I found an unnatural pile of bark over here. And yes, indeed, there is a geocache hidden in this little opening under this stump. So there we go. We'll mark that one as found. And chalk up another one to I would have had no idea this was here if not for geocaching category. When we get back in the car, we'll get Emily to do a little searching since she's the only one who turned roaming on her cell phone on this trip, because yes, I'm cheap. We'll see if there's anything at all on Roadside America about these petroglyphs. Now, I really hope after all that, I'm using the right terminology. I know there is a difference between hieroglyphics and petroglyphs, and I think there's even a third type of that kind of natural art, and it really depends. I think one of the key differences is whether or not it's carved into the rock or painted onto the rock. But let's find out more, because the more you know. So if you've watched this far and not written your actually comment in the comments below, Emily's going to explain the difference here. I was wrong.
Okay, so there's three terms. The cacher calls them hieroglyphics, which is not correct, as that is specifically referring to Egyptian. However, there are two other terms left. There's petroglyph and pictograph. Petroglyph is carved images in rock, while pictographs are paintings on rock with natural pigments, which these are. There's no actual carving or relief into these. They're just, looks painted on with some kind of rust colored pigment.
7:30 in the morning. Forgive the mess. We're just doing our final pack up here as we get ready to check out of the hotel. So yeah, we picked Mabel up yesterday. It was warm enough that we couldn't really leave her in the car to do any more indoor touring activities. So that's kind of why the video yesterday ended there with Mabel. Just getting reunited with us, and really didn't do much else after that. Today we start the drive home. It should be about 5.5 hours. Not a lot to stop. Well, there would be a lot to stop, but we're not going to be stopping at a lot of it. We just want to get home, get settled in again, and deal with the new reality of Mabel's medications for the next, 7 to 10 to 14 days. And yeah, it's been a lot of time on the road lately, and time to head for home.
Some real water. Hopefully you don't get soap bubbles in your mouth.
So this was the My Place Hotel here in Kalispell. And like I said, forgive the mess, but we're just in the middle of packing. Really great facility. Our dog-friendly room was right at the end of one hallway with easy access to the outside, so it was super convenient. It's got a full kitchenette in here with full-size fridge and microwave and cooktop, so it would be a really great spot if you were doing a long-term stay and wanted to have the ability to not eat out every meal and save some money that way. Beautiful sunrise over the mountain. And it is time to head out. We're gonna go grab some breakfast first. This is the back of the hotel, but new hotel and really nice place to stay. Really enjoyed our stay here. It is a beautiful morning for a sunrise.
800 feet, turn left onto Old Reserve Drive.
Even if I can't see through the fogged up windshield right now, seeing while driving is highly overrated. Well, if you want to suck me in, you show me a fire truck. If you want to really suck me in, you show me all the fire trucks and all lit up with the lights going. I'm in. Closer look here. So that was very cool. We were just driving by on, I don't know what highway this is, State Highway 420 or something like that, and saw the flashing lights. At first thought it was a mass casualty incident, and then discovered they're doing a pancake breakfast fundraiser. Well, we already ate, so we couldn't really participate in the pancake breakfast, and we're not carrying any US cash, so can't even donate to the cause. So yeah, we just ended up being looky-loos, but very good stop. So making our final stop of the trip here, we are in Sparwood, but looking at the information boards, not far from here, the towns of Michel and Natal, or what used to be those, all gone now. Pretty much no remnants of them at all. But as you can see, they were quite complete towns and pretty much moved to Sparwood. And there they are demolishing a lot of the towns. So of course I always remember as a kid driving through and the Michel Hotel was still in place. I believe, yeah, that's it there. The highway goes right past it. You can see the old water tower across from there. I don't remember that, but there's also an episode of the old Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack where the Michel Hotel makes an appearance. I can't remember the exact season or episode number. But of course, while we're here at the visitor center, this is kind of a rite of passage for anyone who travels this section. This is billed as the world's largest truck. I'm pretty sure that's not the case anymore, but you got to stop in and see it. Like I said, it's a rite of passage for the people who travel this area on a regular basis. So you can kind of pause here and look at some of the specifications, but height of 22 feet 7 inches or 6.88 meters. We'll get Emily and Mabel to kind of go stand by one of the tires just to give you a sense of scale here. So yeah, gives you a good idea of the size. All right, and that is going to wrap up this trip. We've got 3 hours to home, and so we're just going to kind of hot foot it the rest of the way. But you know, we had to stop and check out the truck. Like I said, everyone does when you've traveled through this area. So we've really enjoyed our couple of visits down to the Kalispell area. It's an area we haven't really explored before, and we certainly got enough of a feel for it to say that yes, we'd like to go back.
Yeah, kind of unexpected trips, not the best circumstances, but the good news is Mabel should be just fine, and we made the most of our time. Felt like 2 little mini vacations.
And that's really what we try and do. Make the best of whatever you've been dealt with enjoy what you can, see what you can. You know, no matter where you go here in, you know, Canada, the US, Europe, basically there's things to be seen, things to be discovered, and things to be enjoyed wherever you happen to be. So make the effort to do that, and we'll see you in the next video.